This is Newshour on the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation with me, Esther Sako. Coming up, ECOWAS Regional Workshop on early warning and response to illicit drugs flows and human security risk in the Mana River Union begins in Freetown. Sierra Leone calls on government to set up an independent auditing into NERSAID investments, and ILO holds workshop on ratification of major labor conventions in Sierra Leone. These stories and more, including entertainment and sport, are lined up in this edition of Newshour. Stay with us. Welcome back to Newshour. Beginning news this morning with one of our top stories. The acting director, Early Warning Directorate ECOWAS Commission, has said the emergence and spread of harmful substances such as kush in several member states underscore the transitional nature of illicit drugs and their growing implications for public health, community safety, and regional stability. Dr. Onyinye Onwuka was speaking at the regional workshop on early warning and response to illicit drugs flow and human security risk in the Mana River Union, hosted by the National Early Warning and Response Mechanism Center, together with ECOWAS Commission held in Freetown. Ibrahim Samora tells us more.
This three-day regional workshop on early warning and response to illicit drug flows and human security risk is a to shape regional policy by proposing strategies that strengthen early warning mechanism capable of preventing illicit drug trafficking, reduce insecurity, and countering violent extremism before crisis escalates. These trends, according to the acting director, Early Warning Directorate ECOWAS Commission, reinforce the need for enhanced monitoring, cross-border cooperation, and coordinated preventive responses. Noting effective early warning enables member states to identify emerging threats, understand evolving trends, and support informed decision-making.
The growing nexus between illicit drug flows, youth vulnerability, organized crime and insecurity demands a response that is both preventive, proactive, and collaborative. It requires that we move beyond reacting to crisis and towards anticipating risk before they escalate.
Secretary National Early Warning and Response Mechanism Center, Frances Numa, told her audience that illicit drug flows in the sub-region was a major threat to peace and security, underscoring the need to confront the challenges of illicit drug flows in the Mana River Basin and the ECOWAS community.
We are gathered here today to confront one of the most pressing human security threats to peace, health, and stability of the MRE region. The escalating flow of illicit drugs flow across our shared border is a threat to ECOWAS generally. The proliferation of these substances, and specifically the synthetic drugs like kush, is devastating our youth and border communities.
John Azuma is the ECOWAS Commission resident representative. He said early warning in monitoring illicit drug flows in the Mana River Basin and the ECOWAS community should be everybody's concern.
I want to urge all of you that as you look at the issues of illicit drug flows and its human security risks, you won't be able to prefer very good recommendations so we can provide that advice to our principals. Unfortunately, your meeting, your workshop is coming at a time that we are going to send a lot of recommendations to the authority of heads of states in the next 13 days.
Deputy Secretary and Peace Security Mano River Union, Angie Kona Munu, underscored the timeliness of the workshop, stating illicit drug flows was not only a law enforcement challenge, but also undermines the peace and security in the Mano River Union, stressing the need for effective collaboration in the fight against the menace. The ECOWAS Commission is hosting the workshop at a time when several reports have suggested that the Mano River Basin is a transit of illicit drug flows and other transnational organized crimes. Ibrahim Samura, Freetown.
The International Labour Organization, ILO, in collaboration with the Ministry of Employment, Labour and Social Security, has held a capacity-building workshop on the ratification of 6 ILO conventions at the Atlantic Hotel in Freetown. The workshop focused on key international labour frameworks, including those on maternity protection and occupational safety and health. Aminata Fofana has more on that story.
The workshop brought together government officials, employers and workers' representatives to discuss the adoption and implementation of 6 key labour conventions aimed at strengthening workers' rights and promoting decent work in Sierra Leone. The Minister of Employment, Labour and Social Security, Mohamed Rahman Swari, said the initiative demonstrates the government's commitment to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 8 by improving working conditions, enhancing workplace safety and protecting workers' rights. He further assured that governments would continue to work closely with social partners to fast-track the ratification process and ensure that the provisions of the conventions are fully integrated into national labour policies and practices through inclusive tripartite dialogue.
The Sierra Leone Employers Federation, ministries, departments and agencies here present, development partners and all stakeholders for your continuing partnership and commitment to strengthening labour governance in Sierra Leone. Together, let us seize this opportunity to build a labour market that is safe, productive, inclusive and resilient, particularly one that protects the dignity of.
A representative from the International Labour Organization, Chineye Emeka Anuna, emphasized that the 6 ILO conventions, including those on maternity protection, occupational safety and health, migrant workers, and the elimination of violence and harassment in the workplace, must be ratified and followed by domestication through national legislation, effective implementation, and social dialogue to strengthen Sierra Leone's labour system.
We are proud to walk this journey with you from today's workshop through ratification and onward to full implementation. On this note, I wish each and every one of us productive discussions and a successful workshop.
Representatives of the Sierra Leone Employers Federation and Labour Congress highlighted the importance of aligning national labour laws with international standards to create safe, inclusive and violence-free workplaces. They noted that the conventions address maternity protection, occupational safety, the rights of migrant workers, and the elimination of violence and harassment in the workplace. Participants reaffirmed their commitment to working together to strengthen labour laws and promote decent work for all Sierra Leoneans.
The Center for Accountability and the Rule of Law, CAL Sierra Leone, has called on President Julius Maada Bio to urgently intervene to safeguard the retirement savings of Sierra Leone workers following concerns over the performance of investment by the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT. Our reporter, Krishna Kamara, has more.
The Center for Accountability and Rule of Law, Sierra Leone, is calling on President Julius Maada Bio to urgently intervene to protect the retirement savings of Sierra Leone workers, following the Minister of Labour and Social Security's admission that NASIT investments are not doing well.
The call was made during a press conference held at their office in Freetown, where Acting Executive Director of CAL Sierra Leone, Jeremy Simbo, referenced that the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT, was established to collect, manage and invest workers' contributions and ensure the timely payment of pensions, adding that the institution also has a legal responsibility to protect contributors' funds, through prudent investment and sound financial management. He cited concern over recent remarks made by the Minister of Labour and Social Security that NANSIT investments are not performing well. Mr. Simbo said that several major NANSIT investment projects have either underperformed or stalled, raising concerns about the long-term sustainability of the country's pension scheme. He added that reports of delays in pension payments, limited investment diversification, and governance challenges have further weakened public confidence in the institution.
CAR Sierra Leone recommends as follows. We call on the President and NASIT to immediately audit and recover, conduct a comprehensive independent review of all investments and recover funds where there has been underperformance, management, or loss. 2. Reform and investment strategy. Adopt a forward-looking, commercially viable investment plan. Focus on sustainable, long-term returns for contributors.
CAL called for an independent audit of NANSIT's investment portfolio, recovery of public funds where mismanagement of financial losses are established, reforms to the institution's investment strategy, stronger governance and oversight, merit-based recruitment and promotions, and improve technical capacity in investment and pension administration. The organization also recommended timely payments of pension benefits to become a key performance target, stressing that retirees should receive their entitlements without unnecessary delays. SLBC News are in Freetown. Christian Akamara reporting.
A government-owned institution often seen as slow and ineffective is now being commended for efficiency and transparency. The Sierra Leone Shipping Agency has been lauded by the FB Construction Company for its outstanding service delivery. Emmanuel Williams report.
For years, public perception of government institutions in Sierra Leone has been largely negative, often described as slow, inefficient, and lacking transparency. The narrative appears to be changing, at least for the Sierra Leone National Shipping Agency. FB Construction Company, which is currently working on the ECOWAS building project in Sierra Leone, has applauded the agency for what is described as timely, transparent, and professional handling of its goods. The Sierra Leone National Shipping Agency is responsible for clearing, forwarding, and coordinating of cargo through the country's ports, an essential service that directly affects businesses, trade, and national development. According to FB Construction, the agency efficiency has significantly supported their work, ensuring that materials arrive on time and projects remain on schedule.
Well, as far as a globally work employee, I'm really glad to work with NSA for sure, and the operation was so successful with them, and it went smoothly.
The commendation highlights a shift in performance as the agency works to rebuild public trust and improve service delivery.
Staff, the manpower, we ensure staffs are being equipped with all the necessary knowledge, skills that are required to get your goods being cleared within the shortest possible time. And we've shown ourselves that we are transparent. Our office is visible, located at 45 Line Street, to tell you that yes, it's a government-owned institution. We are not going to run away from Sierra Leone, so we are here to serve the people of Sierra Leone.
Stakeholders say such improvements are critical in changing the long-standing perception of government institutions and boosting confidence in public service delivery. As Sierra Leone continues to pursue development projects, efficient institutions like the shipping agency are proving to be key drivers in supporting business and national growth. For LCBC News, Emmanuel Williams reporting.
The Faculty of Law at Fairway College, University of Sierra Leone has held a day public presentation on the Prohibition of Early Child Marriage Act 2024, bringing together legal scholars, students, members of parliament, civil society organizations, and the media to raise awareness about the country's latest legislation aimed at protecting children from early and forced marriage. The event, organized by LLB Year 1 student, focused on the significance of the Act, its legal provisions, implementation challenges, and its collective responsibility of citizens in ending child marriage in Sierra Leone. Esther Nenekama reports.
There are currently no official national statistics showing a decline in child marriage rates directly after the enactment of the 2024 law. However, UNICEF latest statistics says that about 30% of young women aged 20 to 24 in Sierra Leone were married or in union before age 18, meaning roughly 3 in every 10 girls experienced child marriage and around 9% were married before age 15. In order to raise awareness and identify loopholes and challenges of the Act, LLB Year 1 student at Fabe College examined the critical legal advisory opinion, legislative timeline and architecture, strength, weaknesses, the 4 legislative and administrative reforms, recommendations, and more. According to the minority leader in Parliament, Honorable Abdul Kagbo, and the head of Family Support Unit Sierra Leone Police, Superintendent Mohamed Mansare, child marriage has remained a challenge in Sierra Leone and the globe, despite years of advocacy. They noted that poverty, harmful traditional practices, teenage pregnancy, and limited access to education continue to expose many girls to early marriage. According to the presenters, the Prohibition of Early Child Marriage Act 2024 represents a major step by the government of Sierra Leone to address these challenges through stronger legal framework. The law criminalizes child marriage and holds individuals who facilitate, promote, or force children into marriage accountable. They pointed out challenges affecting the successful implementation of the law.
In the Child Marriage Act 2024 not to come into realization. One of it is the omission of the mandatory public education fund. 2 is the absence of a dedicated financial mechanism. 3 is the inadequate transitional protection for existing marriage. 4 is the under-addressed male victim profile.
The discussion also emphasized that legislation alone cannot eliminate child marriage. Effective implementation, public awareness, community engagement and collaboration among government institutions, traditional leaders, religious bodies, schools, and civil society organizations are essential to achieving lasting change. Participants further stressed that educating communities about the provisions of the law will empower families to protect children and encourage victims to seek justice. They provided some recommendations to address challenges highlighted.
Recommendation that we actually mandate statutory public education. We make it mandatory that our laws be made public and ensure that everybody, down to the layman, understands what the law states and what would be the penalty if one defaults.
A LLB Year 1 student, Andrew Chopele, explained what he has learned from the presentations and called on parents to refrain from giving their girl child to early marriage. The event not only raised awareness, but also served as an opportunity for law students to demonstrate their understanding of legal research, public advocacy, and civic education, while encouraging broader public dialogue on child rights and the rule of law. For SBC, Esther Nenekama reporting.
The United Nations Development Programme, UNDP, has handed over solar inverter systems to 5 government hospitals, laboratories across in a major step towards strengthening the country's healthcare infrastructure through renewable energy solutions. The beneficiary laboratories include the Central Public Health Laboratory and the National Tuberculosis Response Laboratory at Laka Government Hospital in Freetown, as well as government hospital laboratories in Makeni, Putloko, Kenema, and Bo. Jonathan Turner was at the handing over ceremony at Laka Government Hospital, and the Now report. The installations comprise a 100 kVA solar inverter system for the Central Public Health Laboratory and 144 kVA system for the National Tuberculosis Reference Laboratory at Lakar, a 150 kVA system for McKinney Government Hospital Laboratory, a 100 kVA system for Potloco Government Hospital Laboratory, and 200 kVA system for Kenema Government Hospital Laboratory, and a 20 kVA system for both Government Hospital Laboratory. The UNDP resident representative, Frederick Ampia, reaffirmed the organization's commitment to supporting governments and expanding access to clean and sustainable energy. He emphasized that the initiative reflects UNDP's continued partnership with governments and other stakeholders to scale up renewable energy solutions that improve access to affordable and reliable electricity while strengthening essential public services. According to him, uninterrupted power supply is critical for the effective functioning of medical laboratories, ensuring the preservation of samples, reliable diagnostic services, and timely healthcare delivery.
Thousands and millions of people who use this facility. It's about how readily people would come here, get access to healthcare, get their tests done, get their results and diagnosis done in good time, so that they can have the healthcare that they need. This is the true measure of what we call the success of what we are going to hand over.
Receiving the equipment, the Deputy Minister of Health 1, Dr. Charles Senensi, expressed his appreciation to UNDP for its continued support to Sierra Leone's health sector. Dr. Senensi noted that solar inverter systems will significantly improve laboratory operations by providing reliable electricity, reducing dependency on conventional power sources, and ensuring uninterrupted diagnostic services in the beneficiary laboratories. He said the investment would strengthen the country's disease surveillance and response capacity while enhancing the quality of healthcare services delivered to citizens.
Statistics of access to health, of energy, those percentages, it's work in progress. It's being revised every moment as I speak now. Even within the Ministry of Health now, we have more than 350 health facilities fully solarized across the country, representing about more than 25 to 30% of the 1,000 to 600 health facilities. So we don't fall within that 5%. We are marching towards having all of them solarized, and Mr. Powis is evident. All our district hospitals, all our tertiary institutions, Connect Hospital have 24-hour solar energy light. So the laboratory now is picking up very well, and we are happy that as a country under His Excellency, we are moving very well.
The handing over forms part of the broader efforts by the government of Sierra Leone and UNDP to build a more resilient healthcare system through sustainable energy solutions, improve laboratory efficiency, and ensure quality healthcare services for communities across the country. For SLBC News, Jonathan Turner reporting. Children and young people across Sierra Leone have been challenged to become champions of climate action as the country continues to face the effect of climate change. The call was made during the 2026 National Children's Summit organized by the Youth Panel Circle with support from Child Fund Sierra Leone at the multi-purpose hall of Farabe College. Alwyn Roy Fox reports.
The 2026 National Children's Summit brought together young people, children, government officials, and development partners to discuss the growing impacts of climate change on Sierra Leone under the theme, Our Climate, Our Future, Empowering Sierra Leone's Children to Shape Tomorrow. Speaking at the event, Child Fund Sierra Leone Country Director Victor Camara described climate change as one of the greatest threats facing children in the country. He noted that extreme weather events have displaced thousands of people in Freetown, while irregular rainfall patterns continue to disrupt farming and threaten food security.
Climate change is really no longer a distant threat. It is here with us. And it is affecting Sierra Leone profoundly. So therefore, the theme that we have today, Our Climate, Our Future, Empowering Sierra Leone's Children to Shape Tomorrow, is appropriate, but also is timely, because you as young people and children are quite important for this journey, and for us to be able to tackle the issues of climate in our country, Sierra Leone.
He further acknowledged ongoing government and community initiatives, including efforts by the Environmental Protection Agency to tackle plastic pollution and implement the country's national biodiversity strategy. Delivering the keynote address, the Minister of Environment and Climate Change, Jiwo Abdullahi, underscored the urgent need to address climate change, biodiversity loss and pollution, describing them as a major threat to Sierra Leone's sustainable development.
I want to reinforce the fact that for your lives, you will have to deal with crisis of climate change, which essentially means that the weather patterns change over time. So you have rain when you're not supposed to have rain, or the sun gets too hot, extremely hot. You have to deal with biodiversity loss due partly to human action, the deforestation that's taking place across the world, but climate change also has an impact on the biodiversity loss that we see.
He further noted that the country's long coastline and continued deforestation has increased the vulnerability of many communities to rising sea levels and environmental degradation. The summit concluded with a strong call for children and youth across Sierra Leone to raise their voices, protect the environment, and hold leaders accountable for policies that secure a safer and more sustainable future for generations to come. SLBC News, Alwyn Roy Fox reporting.
The Sierra Leone Police has commissioned a new digital divisional headquarters in Masimbi, Tonkolele District. The new facility is intended to bring policing closer to the people. Yusuf Maseye Suma reports.
For years, people in communities such as Masingbi, Mamasonsaka, Mondema, Swafe, Makali, Simbaria, and Tonkoli had to travel long distances to report crimes, file statements, or follow up cases, which often led to delays and abandoned complaints. Paramount Chief of Konike Chiefdom, PC by Kru Kanagbaro Sanka III, commended the Inspector General of Police and other dignitaries present for the commissioning of the police station, calling for utmost peace and justice in his chiefdom. He urged government and the Sierra Leone Police to stand firm in tackling the importation of drugs.
So we welcome government, but then I can't stand by Naya.
Our chiefdom wants to stand by the government to stop those importing drugs, not only the consumers, and also arrest those selling drugs, especially Kush.
By economics, supply creates demand. The supply not the demand not the.
With now 8 divisions in the Northeast region, the Regional Commander, Assistant Inspector General of Police of the Northeast region, Esther Merikentu Dokore, said the opening of the division was timely and promised to upholding professionalism while focusing on community policing.
This will be based more on community policing, going closer to the people, because security issues are no longer for the police alone. The people out there will join us to police their communities. So the 7 regions divisions that we are existing, plus Masingbi today, we are going to ensure that there is peace, safety, and security in the Northeast.
The Inspector General of Police, William Fayaselu, said the division will have and enjoy every facility and component available in all the divisional headquarters in the country. He also promised to engage the Attorney General and Minister of Justice for the establishment of a court system in Masingbi.
Okay, I just talked to the minister for now better established courts.
I had a discussion with the Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, David Fortune, for the establishment of a court system in Masingbi to ease accessibility of the justice system.
He finally called on youth, especially bike riders, to be law-abiding citizens and refrain from taking the law into their own hands. The Inspector General of Police officially handed over 8 motorbikes, 1 command vehicle for the local unit commander, Fode Sise, and 1 Suzuki truck for patrol and other police-related activities. Other dignitaries present were the resident minister, Northeast Region, Ibrahim Jallo, Brigade Commander, 4 Infantry Battalion, Deputy Minister of Internal Affairs, David Fortune, Parliamentarian Representative, and Bishop of the McKinney Diocese, Reverend Bob John Kuroma, amongst others. The event ended up with the official opening of an OSD office at the Northeast Regional Headquarters in McKinney. Yusuf Mosire Suma, SABC News, Masingbi, Tonkoli District.
If you're just joining in, this is Newshour coming to you live from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation from Freetown. We continue with more stories. The Right to Access Information Commission, RAIC, has received a draft copy of its complaint handling manual from a consultant hired by the Commission to develop rules and regulations relating to complaint procedure. The manual was prompted by apparent gaps in the current RAIC Act of 2013, which does not make adequate provision on a procedure to handle complaints from the public. Moses Conte was there and now sent in this report.
The Complaint Handling Manual further confers powers to the Right to Access Information Commission to urge MDAs and relevant private entities to grant citizens free and open access to information. It also mandated the Commission to monitor and report on compliance by MDAs and make recommendations for reform. Its relevance was not only to help clarify the complaint process of the Commission, it further makes clear the provisions guiding the process. The 16-page document presents critical governance and operational tools as it deals with critical issues affecting challenges faced by members of the public requesting for information from certain institutions. The chairman of the Right to Access Information, Dr. Sigashaw, said the development of the manual was timely, adding that most public institutions have refused to make certain information available to requesters over the years.
We have been trying very hard to improve the policy climate of the Commission. In 2022, the regulations of the Right to Access Information Act, the regulations were enacted, and I think it has helped us a lot because the regulations provided details to the Act itself. But we realized recently that we needed some additional, guidelines, to support our work. So the idea of developing a complaints manual, rules of procedure and complaints manual came up.
The Complaint Handling Manual calls for RAIC objectivity by enhancing transparency and accountability, improves efficiency and timeliness, while supporting compliance with access to information. It also prescribes complaints forms and procedures for filing complaints, commission's investigation, commencement of hearing, method of collecting evidence, and provision on compensation, among others. The Executive Secretary for Sierra Leone, Charles Keith Kobai, urged public institutions to embrace the essence of the RAIC Act, noting that it is a tool designed to promote democracy, transparency, and justice. The Right to Access Information Commission is an independent statutory body established under the Right to Access Information Act of 2013. It guarantees citizens the legal right to access information held by public authorities. Reporting for SLBC, Moses Conte.
Fire has engulfed a bungalow at New Englandville community in Freetown, leaving residents homeless. The blaze burnt down a 4-room bungalow to ash at New Englandville in Freetown, leaving the residents with no place to sleep. The victims of the unfortunate incident have called on government and humanitarian organizations for support. Suleiman Babatouye tells us more.
It is a sad moment for residents at Limba Corner, Smart Lane at New Englandville in Freetown. This is how a place that used to host 4 happy families and properties worth thousands of leones now looks like a scrapyard. This incident leaves Ahmed Bangura, a bike rider, and his family with nothing, as all his properties and savings are destroyed.
I go shop now and only the close way they see me, then I do two. I do two picking them, one boy, one girl. And the go on English. Back past all the thing and you so no more.
Like Ahmed, Umu Fafana, a businesswoman, also loses 9 gallons of palm oil, plasma, and other valuable items to the fire. She alleges the cause of the fire is related to bad light.
So by the time I would grab now, we go inside. I don't think inside, outside. Get inside. I'm going to action.
The effort by the fire force team appears fruitless due to a lack of access to the place. The people remain hopeful of government and humanitarian organizations' intervention. As of the time of visit and interview, no authority visit the location. SLBC News, Slaman Babatwe reporting.
The Director of Water Resources in the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, Augustine Tucker, has reaffirmed the government's commitment to achieving Sustainable Development Goal 6, which focuses on ensuring access to water, sanitation, hygiene, and sustainable water management across Sierra Leone. He made the statement during a stakeholder engagement on the monitoring of SDG 6 in Sierra Leone. As Harold Williams reports, the ceremony was held at the Country Lodge Complex in Freetown.
According to the Director of Water Resources in the Ministry of Water Resources and Sanitation, Engineer Augustine Tucker, the engagement highlights the collective commitment to improving water security, sanitation, hygiene, and sustainable water resource management in the country. He said Sierra Leone has made significant progress in expanding access to safe drinking water and sanitation, despite considerable challenges that still exist in rural schools, health care facilities, and townships. He emphasized the importance of reviewing the current status of SDG 6 monitoring in Sierra Leone to identify gaps for improvement.
However, we continue to face considerable challenges, particularly in rural communities, schools, healthcare facilities, and rapidly growing urban areas. Climate change, inadequate financing, aging infrastructure, limited institutional capacity, and data gaps continue to impede progress.
The Global Monitoring Officer of UN Water, William Reed Head, said that since the adoption of the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development in 2015, there has been considerable progress, though at a slow pace. He described monitoring as a key enabler for achieving the SDGs, stressing that it helps improve the status of water and sanitation at multiple levels, strengthens accountability and transparency, supports informed policy and investment decisions, and promotes learning through cross-border data sharing.
Monitoring is an important enabling condition for achieving the SDGs for a number of reasons. First, monitoring can lead to improved awareness of the status of water and sanitation at multiple levels and among multiple stakeholders, inspiring discussions and action toward increased sustainability. Second, a regular supply of evidence enables stronger accountability and transparency and reduces the incidence of waste and corruption.
The engagement featured several presentations on UN water and sustainable development goals, including an overview of SDG 6, Sierra Leone's water and sanitation monitoring framework, and a pre-assessment of SDG 6 management.
It's now time for us to move over to business updates.
Hello and welcome to today's edition of Business Update. This segment brings you the latest in business and its contribution towards impacting the economy. I'm Moses Conte. For the main headlines for today's edition, the Nigeria Chamber of Commerce launched the 2026 Nigeria Sierra Leone Trade Fair. The Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture in Sierra Leone has launched the 2026 Nigeria Sierra Leone Trade Fair and unveiled the event official mascot. Speaking at a press conference, the CEO, Agbai Abose, said the chamber will serve as a convener to bring businesses from two sisters nations together while creating a platform for bilateralism. For more on that, let's join Dennis Fraser, who has the story.
They are removing the ground. Ready, go! Here's a round of applause.
The launch of the 2026 Nigeria Sierra Leone Trade Fair and unveiling of the official mascot of the event. The press conference, which brought together members of the board of the Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture Sierra Leone, business leaders, private sector players, exhibitors and journalists, was intended to create a platform for showcasing investment potentials, business opportunities as well as products manufactured in Nigeria and Sierra Leone. According to the CEO, Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture in Sierra Leone, Agbai Agbosi, for the first time the initiative will bring together Nigerian businesses with their Sierra Leone counterparts to trade in one marketplace and will also create a platform for bilateralism.
They will gain advantage and access into the Sierra Leone market, especially with the presence of the contiguous states of the Mano region, Mano River Union. So the population of Sierra Leone just being about 8 million is not just going to stop there. They are going to add Guinea, add Liberia, and Guinea-Bissau, which is outside the Mano region, and then Cote d'Ivoire.
The chairman of the organizing committee, Remi Okafo, said the Nigeria Chamber of Commerce, Industry and Agriculture is an offshoot of the Nigeria Sierra Leone Joint Commission established under the auspices of the Nigeria High Commission as an umbrella body of Nigeria businesses that are established in Sierra Leone and to be able to guide Sierra Leonean businesses wanting to invest in Nigeria.
Indigenous Sierra Leoneans are coming up in business now like never before. Indigenous Sierra Leonean business is taking over. If you then are alone today, you don't know what is happening. You don't know that business revolution is taking place in Salone. In the next 5 years, you will be missed out.
It is expected that businesses in Sierra Leone will benefit from the trade fair, whilst Nigerian manufacturers will take advantage of the Sierra Leone Industrial Zone through business and investment opportunities. SLBC Business News, Dennis Fraser reporting.
Many thanks to Dennis Fraser for that report. That's all we can share in today's edition of Business Update. I've been your presenter, Moses Conte. Keep watching the SLBC.
Many thanks there to Moses Conte for the latest update in business. Well, from there, we'll move on to entertainment news.
Hello and welcome to another update of our exciting entertainment news with me, Abdul Mansari. In this edition of entertainment news, Drizzly launches Running Out of Time Salon song. Taylor Swift marries Travis Kelce. And of course, Creole Messiah clocks 70k followers on Audiomack. Now, Drizzly, together with other Sierra Leonean Gen Z stars, April, Aminish, Boy, Danny, and Incredible JJ released the Running Out of Time Salon Roots song days ago and has already gotten more than 1.3k followers on YouTube. The song was launched on Saturday, July 4th, 2026.
So even if I don't get the money for take certain things in day, but I want for the part of a group where go make sure say we throw lights to some of them in a day so we go able for change.
The Root song aimed at sensitizing citizens, especially youth, on their responsibility to protect and make the change necessary for better Sierra Leone.
From 1961, them still not change the plan. Now all thing in we are. Now we forbid the change where we want to see. From 1961, with all the dreams and no plans. Now we understand, say. Now we forbid the change where we want to see.
Give we road, for come true. Now we running out of time, no they wait for 1, 2. Every other day they get plan B. Red and green promises when no they ever come true. Gay now we Tony wa mulala. Gigi now we pay my way mojala. Now we mini razanta let's in a sada. And with the youths and don't understand the matter.
I know you no good believe, say. So many good things there for we all. You understand not to you business.
Standing live performance that had the crowd on their feet. From powerful verses to synchronized energy, the performance matched the purpose of the song: unity, pride, and action. Whoa, what a spectacular performance displayed. Sierra Leone's Gen Zs are really on fire. Again, on music, the entertainment world has a new power couple officially off the market. Taylor Swift has wedded Travis Kelce in star-studded wedding at NYC's Madison Square Garden last week. The pair, who first started dating in 2023, got engaged in August 2025 and have now fulfilled their dream of walking down the aisle together. From stadium tours to the Super Bowl to I Do, Swift and Kelce's love story has officially entered its next chapter. Ooh, wedding is indeed a blessing, and of course the wedding was superb indeed. Congratulations to you guys and keep it up. Have a blessed marital home. And finally, Sierra Leone's rising star, Creole Messiah, has clocked 70,000 followers on Audiomack, marking a major milestone in his digital growth. The achievement put him among the fastest growing acts on the platform, with fans streaming his songs and sharing his sound across the country. Known for his unique Creole fusion style and relatable lyrics, Creole Messiah continues to build a loyal fan base that pushes him to new heights. 70k and counting, the Messiah movement is just getting started. Well, keep it up, Creole Messiah. We hope you reach the heights you dreamed for. Well, that's all we have for you in this edition of Entertainment News, and I have been your presenter, Abdul Mansari. Bye-bye.
From Abdul Mansari with Entertainment News, we move on to Sport Update.
Sporting updates that brings you the very best in local and international sports. And by the way, my name is Abdul Kabi, and thank you so much for your time. Now we begin with an exciting development in Sierra Leonean football. The Sierra Leone Football Association has officially commenced the CAF License D coaching course for Sierra Leonean coaches that will definitely revamp the game in terms of developing the youngsters who are coming through the ranks. Well, they've commenced an exciting development for coaches at the SLFA Secretariat. In his words, the Deputy Secretary General of the Sierra Leone Football Association, Ishmael Sadukano, admonished participants to stay focused and approach the cause with the right mentality, and for them to take it very much seriously, so that at the end of the day they will become certified coaches that will help to develop the next generation of Sierra Leonean footballers, or if you like, the new waves of Sierra Leonean football stars. Well, according to the technical director at the SLFA, John Kista, he is hoping that the 40 participants or so will have the needed knowledge to transform the game in more ways than one. Also, with the Sierra Leone Football Association, they've equally revamped the method of going the game among many other things. We saw the MA referee scores, which was held in Bo, an exciting development for Sierra Leonean referees, for them equally to have the needed expertise to transform the game. So it's capacity building for coaches, referees, and the like. Another interesting development as well is that the national team, they are built for the exciting 2027 AFCON qualifiers. According to the FA, they will be playing in September and October. So for them, they will have a moment to really get themselves together. Playing together will be a very good opportunity for the gaffer, that is Didier Gomez da Rosa, to select from among the pool of players who are ready to represent Sierra Leone. Well, they are pulled against exciting teams around the continent. You've got the Democratic Republic of Congo, you've got the Warriors of Zimbabwe and Equatorial Guinea. For Sierra Leone, between September and October, they will have a moment to show that they are truly a force to reckon with. And the qualifiers will continue on to 2027. And in early March, they will conclude that qualification. So all the best to the stars of Sierra Leone. And now in the international scene, the FIFA 2026 Men's Football World Cup. The showpiece is on, the spectacle, you name it. We've seen wonderful display, and Cristiano Ronaldo broke down in tears after a disappointing World Cup campaign, the end of an era against Spain.
Spain ended Portugal's World Cup campaign with a dramatic 1-0 victory in the round of 16, bringing Cristiano Ronaldo's final appearance on football's biggest stage to a heartbreaking close. The tightly contested derby appeared destined for extra time before substitute Mikel Merino struck in the first minute of the stoppage time. The defeat was a heartbreaking moment for Portugal's captain Cristiano Ronaldo, who struggled to influence the game and saw his hopes of another World Cup run come to an end. Shortly after the match, Portugal manager Roberto Martinez announced his resignation. Belgium secured a place in the World Cup quarterfinals after a dominant 4-1 victory over co-host USA in Seattle. The Catellari scored twice in the first half, while Van Aken and Lukaku added further goals to seal a comfortable win for the Red Devils. Malik Talisman's free-kick goal gave the USA hope, and he made history by becoming only the second player to score 2 direct free kicks at a World Cup, but the Americans fell short of reaching the last 8 for the first time since 2002. Belgium will face Spain in the quarterfinals.
Well, for him, he has guided the team to major feats in terms of football recognition. In 2016, they won that exciting competition, but the World Cup, it's so far from the reality. And also Lionel Messi, they picked up an impressive win against the Pharaohs of Egypt to advance to the quarterfinals of the 2026 FIFA Men's Football World Cup. And that ends your update, and thank you so much for watching. See you next time.
Welcome Sports Update. That's how we bring news to a close. But before we go, a quick recap of a main point. The Acting Director, Early Warning Directorate, ECOWAS Commission, has said the emergency and spread of harmful substances such as kush in the several member states underscore the transitional nature of illicit drug flows and their growing implication for public health, community safety, and regional stability. Dr. Onyema Onwuka was speaking at the regional workshop on early warning and response to illicit drug flows and human security risk in the Mano River Union, hosted by the National Early Warning and Response Mechanism Center together with the ECOWAS Commission held in Freetown. The Center for Accountability and Rule of Law, CAL Sierra Leone, has called on President Julius Maada Bio to urgently intervene to safeguard the retirement savings of Sierra Leonean workers following concerns over the performance of investment by the National Social Security and Insurance Trust, NASIT. And the International Labour Organization, ILO, in collaboration with the Ministry of Employment, Labour and Social Security, has held a training on the ratification of 6 international labour conventions in Sierra Leone. Well, that's how we wrap up this edition of the news from the Sierra Leone Broadcasting Corporation. I have been your anchor, Esther Sako. Stay glued to your public broadcaster, the SLBC, if you can. Bye for now.